So reviewing again, product means multiplication, consecutive means 2 in a row, and this time we're talking about even integers. So if we start with 2, then the next consecutive number, even integer, would be 4. Or if we start with 12, then the next consecutive integer would be 14. Or going even bigger, 102 times 104. Now remember, integers can be negative, so -6 and -4 would be 2 consecutive integers. Notice in each case, these are going from one to the next, you're adding 2. So that means I'm going to set up my variables. So let x be the first integer, and that means x plus 2 will be the second one. So if I now make sure that I'm going to write my equation, the product, so the product means multiplication, so the first one times the second one has to equal 168. So I'm going to multiply this into the bracket or distribute it, and then I'm going to solve this quadratic equation. It's quadratic because of this square. So I'm going to subtract 168 from both sides, equals 0. That's a simple trinomial, and I'm going to factor. It's what multiplies to give me 168 and adds together to give me +2. Well, they've got to be one positive and one negative number. So +14 minus 12 works. And I know the 14 is larger because 14 plus -12 is +2. Solving this quadratic equation, I get x plus 14 equals 0, so x equals -14, or x minus 12 equals 0, which means x equals 12. So if the starting number is -14, it means the next number will be -12. If my starting number is x equals 12, then my next number is x equals 14. So here are my two solutions. Is there another way of doing this question? You bet. So we established in the last example that the product of two consecutive even integers is 168. So for example, 2 and 4 are consecutive even integers. So if I say let x be the larger number, so in this case that would be 4, then what would be the other number? It would be x minus 2. Because consecutive, I can think of it as this way, 2 in a row, and I'm going to subtract 2 to get from one to the other. Now this product is still going to be equal to 168. How does that work if am I going to get the same answer? So multiply it out, and I'm going quickly here because we've already done it once. Subtract 168 and factor, and I end up with a very similar answer, but in this case it's x minus 14 and x plus 12, so that means x equals 14, which means my other number is 2 less than that, which is x equals 12. Sorry, that's not x, that's x minus 2 equals 12, and here x equals -12, which means if I subtract 2 from that, I get -14. Notice the very same answer, but a different setup. Completely correct as well.